The Olympics is no longer about sportsmanship, but it's about men being allowed to beat up women in their own sport, all for the sake of inclusivity and equality. We're going to take a look at this today, and you tell me, do you think this is equal, allowing a male boxer to literally dominate this female boxer? Who are these two boxers, okay? Well, you could see this one in the blue, Italy's Angela Carini, okay? And the one in the red was from Algeria, okay? Iman Khalif, okay? And the fight stopped within 46 seconds, and the female boxer yells, "This is unjust." She falls to her knees in tears as she quits to fight against biologically male Olympic athlete, okay? How insane is that? You could be a female and you train your entire life for a sport, morning to night, giving everything you have. It's your whole life devotion. And you finally make it to the Olympics and you get into whatever competition you are. If you're a boxer, if you're a swimmer, whatever. And then you find out you're going against a male, and then the male assaults you, literally beats you. I mean, I know it's boxing, but in my mind, a guy should never hit a girl. But apparently, that's okay nowadays. And in my mind, I feel like women's rights have gone back thousands of years, just in the last 10 years, okay? Now what is important? This is a sidebar, but what are women's rights nowadays all about, okay? Wear whatever you want, immodest, indecent clothing, okay? Go around with no shirt on, no bra on. I mean, you should, my body, my choice. You should be allowed to be naked on the street, exposing yourself. I mean, that's how some of these people on the far left are, okay? I was at a Trump rally years ago, and these women, these girls that were under 18 had no shirts on and stuff. I mean, it was sick. It was like Sodom and Gomorrah, okay? Or what's another woman's right? Let's end life in the womb, right? My body, my choice, right? I mean, if anything, the whole abortion thing actually helps guys, okay? Because guys could just knock up girls and they don't have to worry about raising a child, being a father. There's no responsibility nowadays for guys or girls because you could just end the baby's life. I mean, that's what women's rights are about, okay? And women who are supporting this stuff, wanting males to play in their sports just to get humiliated. I mean, people have lost all common sense, okay? Here's a photo of her after she gets beat. It's really sad, man. She says, "I got into the ring to fight, but I didn't feel like it anymore after the first minute. I started to feel a strong pain in my nose. I didn't give up, but a punch hurt too much. So I said enough. I'm leaving with my head high." Yes, because male and females biologically are different. Males are naturally stronger. Like, I don't know how hard that is to understand. I mean, my toddlers get that there's a difference between a boy and a girl, but apparently the world is confused about this, okay? That there's a difference. And you could see this punch right here. I'm actually, this guy needs to be shamed. This Algeria's Iman Khalif, I'm not into bowling, but at a point, I feel like bowling needs to come back because it's just so ridiculous. If this was my daughter and she got beat up by a guy in a woman's sport, I'd be so outraged. I mean, imagine if that was your sister or something. Okay, I'm disappointed in Algeria because this guy's a boxer for Algeria. I thought Algeria, it's in Africa. I thought they were like a Muslim country. What's going on, Muslims? Why are you letting males compete in female sports? Okay? You guys are like the West now, watering down your values, okay? Christians have already rolled over. We're dead, okay? In America, I feel like the fight's pretty much over, okay? But I thought Muslims were a little stronger than Christians when it came to defending their values. This clearly a dude. I hope he's super proud of himself for beating up a girl. And look at that. That is sad. Look at what the Olympics say about this, okay? Because, of course, the Olympics, they had an official response to this. Let's see what they have to say here.
They are women. They competed in Tokyo. I think we all have a responsibility, by the way, to try to dial down this and not turn it into some kind of witch hunt. These are regular athletes who've competed for many years in boxing. They're entirely eligible. They are women on their passports. And that, I think, is...
All he has to say is they're women on their passports. That's the defense the guy has. They are women on their passports. So we shouldn't stigmatize them. We shouldn't create a witch hunt, he says, okay? Well, take a look at this, because the International Boxing Association actually disqualified this guy and another guy from competing in women boxing, because there's actually two males in the Olympics competing in boxing, okay? IBA disqualified athletes Lin Yuting and Imane from the Women's World Boxing Championship in New Delhi. This disqualification was a result of their failure to have a vagina. Sorry, I just can't help myself. I mean, because they opened up their pants and saw they had a ball sack. I mean, really, this is so insane. This disqualification was a result of their failure to meet the eligibility criteria for participating in the women's competition as set out. So good for the International Boxing Association, because apparently they actually have values. They're actually protecting their athletes. These other sports apparently aren't. And if you think men being in women's sports isn't a big deal, well, let me show you this female volleyball player. She was 17 and she was left paralyzed with brain damage by transgender opponent who cackled to delight, okay? This male guy was competing with these girls, and he was so strong when he spiked the ball, he left this poor girl, okay, with brain damage. But no, this is normal. You know, we should allow men to play women's sports, you know? And, you know, the Bible knew all this wickedness and evil would be happening. You know, that's why Jesus came to the earth. The famous passage of John 3:16, everyone knows for God so loved the world part. But if you look at John 3:19, the Bible says this, and this is the judgment. The light has come into the world, and people love the darkness rather than light because their works were evil. For everyone who does wicked things hates the light and does not come to the light, lest his works should be exposed. See, people love their wicked deeds, the Bible says. So if you say that any of this is wrong, okay, you could lose your job. You could, in some countries, maybe go to jail. It's called hate speech. They'll do anything they can to silence the kind of rhetoric I'm using. So by the way, if you believe in God, the gospel, getting these messages out there, like and subscribe, you make a difference by just doing that quick thing, okay? And I'll be the target for all of them. I really don't care, because God's on the throne, so they could do whatever they want to my body, but God's in heaven, and I'll be with him in eternity, so I could care less. But the Bible says, whoever does what is true comes to the light, so it may be clearly seen that his works have been carried out by God. This is what's happening. People are confused. People love darkness. People love wickedness. And you know what? We have an election coming up in November, and you could vote for someone like Kamala Harris, who goes on RuPaul's Drag Race, a show with drags and transgenders and all this. She made a comment, by the way. Each day we are seeing our rights and freedoms under attack. Rights and freedoms, all I'm seeing is you females, your rights and freedoms are literally under attack by men. Men are still ruling the world. I guess they will always rule the world because women can't speak up, can't stand up for themselves, okay? So you're going to continue to get smacked around in sports by men if you don't speak up, okay? Freedoms are under attack, including the right of everyone to be who they are, love who they love, openly and with pride. Okay, and then there's some transgender stuff. Oh, but then on the other hand, you have Donald Trump saying he will ban biological males from competing in women's sports. That's why they hate Trump. This isn't about just people having freedom to love whoever they love, because they could already do that. I could care less if I see two guys walking down the street holding hands. What I care about is them putting it into the education system, them putting in sexualized content into the education system to brainwash our youth, to normalize all this. None of this should be normalized. This is all wicked. This is all evil. But like personally, I don't care if you're a guy and you think you're a girl, but you shouldn't be allowed to compete in sports. That's insane. Like we shouldn't like give into this and say this is okay. Like what happened to people saying things are right or things are wrong, or people just having a backbone in general? I don't know, but this is just wild. If the Olympics couldn't get any crazier, I mean, this is like the straw in the camel's back. So if you love God, like and subscribe. See you in the next video.